Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Marvel Rivals Get to Know Your Toon. Today we're going to be talking about Scarlet Witch. Awesome. Scarlet Witch is a duelist or DPS. She's a 1-star difficulty, meaning she's relatively easy to pick up. She's got a really cool alt skin right now, a little red and white. And of course an NVIDIA emote, the best play of the game. And her regular emote, just kind of hanging out, floating. And of course a couple of sprays, cool looking portrait, and her emblem. But let's get into her abilities. Her main primary attack is her chaos control. And she has a Moira from Overwatch, like sort of grasp, where she just constantly drains the enemies in her view. She's also got a nice bit of escapability as well with her mystic projection, in which she can float up or down for a brief amount of time, being relatively invisible, though not entirely invisible, as there's still a red little orb that floats. She also has the Dark Seal, which is her stun orb, and it freezes an enemy opponent. It ticks away, does a tiny bit of damage as well, but it really kind of holds them in a place where your DPS or you yourself as a DPS could do some massive damage. She also has her telekinesis, her gentle float, much like Hela, Magneto, where she can slowly get down to the ground. Now where she does a lot of her damage is with her little explosive magic missiles, as they call it, a Chthonian burst. As you can see, it does a little bit of splash damage as well, but it really does a decent amount of damage. Kind of reminds me of Hela a little bit, though the range isn't quite there. One of her passives, as we talked about in the Magneto episode, is allowing Magneto, when you're paired up, to wield his sword. His great sword does a lot of damage, a ton of damage, and so you really enable Magneto to pop off when you can. Now, if you can throw the orb in addition to the suck and shoot your daggers at the same time, she can really do a lot of damage in a tiny bit of time. And that, of course, doing a lot of damage in a little bit of time is her main reality erasure. It's her ultimate, and this thing is awful. You hear it coming a mile away, and it is a bomb. It's a sphere that goes off and annihilates anything in its orbit. It is super powerful if you can get to the right space to drop it. If you're too high, it won't work. If you're too far away, it won't work. You just gotta find that sweet spot with her. She's also got some lore here as well you can read about, and a couple in-game achievements of stuff you can earn. But she's a pretty fun character to play, so let's get into some gameplay and see her in action. So here we jump into a game and we see we have a Magneto on our team. So we're going to team up with him to let him use his greatsword, which is a really great brawler weapon. So you can see we have a Penny on our team and a Rocket behind us and a Hela doing some distance from long range. So we've kind of got a little bit of everything. We can kind of control the zone well and progress forward with this group fairly effectively. You always got to be careful coming out of this spawn, because a lot of times they're up on the roof and already aiming down at you as soon as you walk out the door. So just be careful. I try to get the high ground up here just to see what we're dealing with. That's a great spot to put the spider orb, because those mines, the spider mines, just keep raining down. Now we see we got somebody in our back row already. I'm not seeing a ton of people up front, so I'm going to make a move to the side here to get a little closer to point. What I'm trying to do here is look and see where their DPS are, look and see where their healers are, and ideally take out one like I just did there. I got their Mantis, and that's a big one because she does really great healing. Now I'm kind of searching. I know there was somebody. I heard footsteps around. So I'm desperately looking. We've got a Loki. I guess one of our teammates actually switched. So that's going to make this controlling a little easier. So to me, Scarlet Witch reminds me a lot of Overwatch's Moira. There's a lot of times where you're just kind of moving around with that hand out, trying to get any damage sort of as it appears even in front of you. Of course, got the phase, which is another similarity as well. Her daggers are really effective, really, really strong. Can't stress that enough. I love that we got Loki's in this just to give additional healing. Kind of lets me do my thing. I really like Scarlet Witch on this map because there's a lot of ways that you can get behind the enemy. You can see you can use these building balconies and whatnot. And really the point of that being that you can drop that super, super powerful ultimate when you've earned it. But otherwise, you just want to keep constant pressure on the other team. If they're in front of you, ideally, maybe you can get to the side, flank from a bit. That Iron Man's a little too far away for me to do damage. My daggers could hit him, but he's pretty far away, so I'd have to get a little bit lucky with those. The drain, however, works really well when people are close. I've got my ult now. I kick it. Unfortunately, I trapped myself in the building, which wasn't the brightest move, but I still did take down one with it. And actually, I don't think I actually did take down one with it, but what it forces the other team to do is that ult just clears a space because they're going to be annihilated if they don't kill me first or run from that space. So what that did, I think, was force them to run away, and my teammate, Hell, I think, got the snipe on them as they were exposed. So we sort of move back. We ebb and flow with the battle as it goes. We take our shots with our daggers. I'm going to try to get in a little closer where I can do maybe a little more damage. They got a Punisher now, so I kind of want to try and drop down his turret. Or at least get him to focus off my team by worrying about me. Now they're worrying about me, so they come to get me in the top. And I drop back down and move again. That's where that phase comes in really handy. And we got Magic doing her thing. She's cutting it up or trying to. I'm using my phases. You get 2 of them. There is a slight cooldown, but it gives you some decent escapability for things like that. My aim here is a little off, but that happens. The suck grasp is never off, though. That's the glory of playing Scarlet Witch or a Moira character. You just kind of point your finger out and your hand out, and you're always doing damage. Now they just ulted here. Let's see if I can do this one as well. Didn't get trapped in the building this time, which is exciting. And I dropped the bomb on them. And I got one of them. I think my teammates were already punishing down the others, but as you can see, it's a massive deterrent because you have about 3 seconds to deal with it. She screams that pure chaos. Pure chaos! Trust me, everybody in the game knows what that sound is. Now they got in behind us, so we got to clear them out a little bit. Really far behind us, apparently. And now Strange is a bit out of position, so we want to kind of focus on him. And as they start to focus you, you want to pull back, obviously. Thankfully, we've got a bunch of Lokis behind us giving us constant heals. Really good teammates. Now I'm trying to get in behind them. Oh. Magic dove me. I gotta get out of here or get to a health pack or something. Thankfully I was able to get away for a second. I had my ult. Let's drop it. Let's clear some room. Whammo. Big hit. I took a big hit, but that's okay. Thankfully our group is really good, and Rocket had his little revive pod here. Magic still going hard in the paint. She's a tough one up close. She's tough to deal with. I use that phase a lot with her. I try and save it specifically for her because she likes to dive a lot. And she keeps gaining health when she does damage, so she's a tough one to fight. she's on me again. So I fade out, float up out of her sight. I see that Iron Man just teeing off, so I said, you know what, let me go after him. That'll help out our teammates a lot. And then sort of pick them off from behind when I can. Strange is sort of stuck by himself, so we don't want to let him escape. See if we can get a little high ground here. Scarlet Witch does get her ult relatively quickly, I think. I think that's because, you know, when she sticks her hand out, she does a lot of damage. Here's that Iron Man. He's really just trying to 1v1 me here, and thankfully he's not bothering the team so much. I'm just trying to do damage. Now they all know I'm in here. Probably made a call out because magic came right towards me. Now we're fighting in a little room. Generally, I don't recommend that versus magic because she does a lot of damage and she heals herself. So I probably should have escaped there, but that's okay. Here we go again. I've got another ult. Let's see if I can land a big one. Phase in, try and get a little sneaky, get it behind him. This time I kind of hide in the tree. I see Magneto go in that building. Everyone else sort of got out of the field. Or Strange, not Magneto. And we got him on his ult, so that was kind of cool. Oh. And it's just kind of pointing constant damage with that grass, that suck. You know what I mean? Drain. I'm like a Moira main myself in Overwatch. I love Moira. I mean, at least if I play support or healer. So playing Scarlet Witch is a very familiar thing to me, let's say. You're just kind of doing that poke damage off the side, like it's just nasty, the range of those sticking that hand out there, you know, as a Moira player. It's very similar. I try to get up high around Magic, try to get away from her. She's just too deadly up close. As you can see, she wiped me a couple times. And just wrapping up this one here. We've got them staggered pretty well. See if I can pop the Pure Chaos. Try and stay hidden a little bit behind the pole, but I can't. And there's a 4 kill. So there's a great example of how deadly her ultimate is. It's a lot like a Diva Bomb, if we're going back to Overwatch references. So that was really good. It was decent play for me. It wasn't the best play for sure, but that ultimate was pretty cool. I mean, if you can get a 4 kill, that's just about a squad wipe. Hopefully you could finish them off at that point. But we took the point, and that was right at the end anyways. So we ended up winning the game. We probably would have got it anyways, but that ult certainly made it faster. 25-4 with over 8,000 damage. Can't really complain. Highlight, I'm sure it's going to be the bomb at the end. Yeah, as you can see right there. Now, they're all kind of grouped up close, which is a great sign. I try to hide behind the pole at the beginning so they don't quite see me. They'll see the orbs in the air a little bit, so it's not like you're incognito, but you just got to drop that thing before you get dropped. So, final thoughts on Scarlet Witch. Great DPS character, really easy to learn and pick up, especially if you're new or switching. Massive ultimate damage. Everyone knows that scream that she lets out. So use that to your advantage as best you can, and you'll do great. But let me know your thoughts and comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time on Marvel Rivals Get to Know Your Toon.